All right, we're about to dive into one of the most puzzling verses in the entire book of Revelation. Seriously, it's just one sentence, but people have been speculating about it for centuries. But what if its main point isn't about the future at all? What if it's really about something that's already happened? Let's unlock it together.
So here it is, a line spoken by Jesus himself. Behold, I come as a thief. It's kind of jarring, isn't it? The one who gives everything describes his arrival like he's coming to take something away. It just doesn't seem to fit. And that really is the central question for us. It feels like a total contradiction. This comparison sets up a puzzle that practically forces us to look way deeper than just the surface. So why? Why this specific unsettling metaphor?
Okay, let's tackle that phrase head on, because it's the most provocative part of the verse. What does it actually mean for Jesus to come as a thief?
So let's be clear. The verse isn't saying Jesus is some kind of criminal. Not at all. Instead, the whole focus is on the method of the arrival. Think about it. A thief shows up suddenly, very quietly, and is totally unnoticed by those who aren't expecting him. In this context, his coming was a completely unwelcome surprise to the established religious system of the time.
So the thief thing is all about the how, not the what. And the verse builds on this idea. It gives us a blessing and a warning, and both are tied to two other really important metaphors, watching and keeping your garments. So who gets the blessing here? The one who watcheth. Now, this isn't about, pulling an all-nighter. It's about being spiritually awake, being alert. It's pointing to those people who are actually searching the scriptures, who saw the prophecies being fulfilled right in front of them and recognized their Messiah. Think about Simeon and Anna in the temple. They were blessed because they were actively watching and waiting. And what about this part about keeping his garments? Well, all throughout Scripture, garments are a symbol for a spiritual covering. To be clothed means you're covered in the righteousness and faith that come from God. And to be without them, to be naked, well, that's like Adam in the garden, right? Exposed in your own efforts and facing shame.
Now, you might be thinking this is all just a pretty creative interpretation. But actually, when we go back and look at the original Greek language of the New Testament, it adds this whole other layer of evidence that just makes these meanings snap right into focus.
So, can looking at the actual Greek words confirm what we've been piecing together? Oh, absolutely. Let's see what the language itself tells us.
When we look at the Greek, it's like, boom, total confirmation. The word for thief, kleptis, is all about the secrecy and the suddenness of it, not about being a criminal. The word for watching, gregoron, literally means to be vigilant, to be awake. And hematia, the word for garments, it directly refers to a cloak or a spiritual covering. The original language lines up perfectly with this symbolic reading.
So we have all these pieces laid out on the table. A secret arrival, a special blessing for the vigilant ones, and a serious warning about being spiritually exposed. So, what does it all add up to? This right here is the crucial turning point. What if we've been looking in the completely wrong direction this whole time? What if Revelation 16:15 is actually a powerful commentary on something that had already happened, Jesus' first coming?
Let's just connect the dots. The thief, that's the Messiah, who came so quietly he was missed by the entire establishment. The watchers, they're the few who did recognize him, the Simeons and Annas of the world. The nakedness is that state of trying to stand before God based on your own good works, without the covering of Christ. And that brings us to the final, critical point, the shame.
And this is the last piece of the puzzle. The shame that's mentioned in the verse, it isn't on Jesus. No way. It's on the religious system that claimed to be watching for the Messiah, but was spiritually fast asleep when he actually showed up. It's this powerful warning not to let your traditions blind you to what's really happening.
The source material just puts it perfectly. It says to notice the verse says, his shame. It's referring to the person who was found naked, the one who rejected the Messiah. By not recognizing him, the religious system brought dishonor on itself. It's a total reversal of what you might think at first.
So if this verse is a commentary on the first coming, what does that mean for us today? Does it have any relevance beyond just being a history lesson?
This is exactly why the verse is so powerful. It transcends time. It becomes a constant, living call for every believer in every single generation. The warning against spiritual slumber and the blessing for being spiritually vigilant, well, those are just as urgent for us right now as they were 2,000 years ago.
So we're left with this one final thought. The principle of Revelation 16:15 is still echoing today.
It challenges every single one of us to ask ourselves, are we actively and spiritually watching for Jesus in our lives, clothed in his righteousness? Or have we too fallen asleep?